Ali, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for this.
2013, the Dubai Supreme Council of Energy announced their Dubai Integrated Energy Strategy, a very ambitious project, reducing 30% of energy consumption, of course, in the Emirates, and Etihad ESCO is an important component of that, isn't it? Just tell us your role within DEWA and what you do.
Well, Etihad was established in 2013 as a subsidiary of DEWA, so Dubai Electricity and Water Authority owns Etihad 100%, so Etihad is a government-owned company. The Supreme Council of Energy mandated or issued the Dubai Integrated Energy Strategy for 2030. And in that they mandated energy consumption reduction by 30%. And then they have already established the demand-side management programs. There are 8 programs in Dubai, and one of the programs is building retrofitting.
Okay.
And that program is program number 2, where Etihad is managing that program. And the target for that program is to reduce energy consumption by 30% by the year 2030. So this is what we are doing for the past 4 years. We have been achieving the target on a yearly basis.
It is very ambitious, and of course we mentioned before that there are actually 130,000 buildings, or at the time when the Dubai Supreme Council of Energy announced their integrated energy strategy, that there were 130,000 buildings, of course.
Approximately, yes.
30,000 on a large scale,
yes.
You know, and of course that's what you're targeting. And at this point, you've already successfully retrofitted 7,000 buildings?
Yes, more or less. If you talk about 30,000 buildings on a scale of 15 years, spread over 15 years, we're talking about 2,000 buildings on an average on an annual basis. For the past years, 3 years, we have been successful in achieving more than 2,000, like 2,100. So this is what we've been trying to do. The past 2 years, we were very successful. We achieved more than 2,100 on an annual basis. This year, we have like more than 4,000, so more or less we are at 7,000 plus.
Quite an interesting project that you've just finished this month, in fact. Dubai International Airport, you retrofitted all 3 terminals.
That's correct.
Tell us about the scale of that project. It took up 1.5 years, so that must have been a big job.
Yes, 2 years ago when we contracted that project, it was one of the most difficult project and challenging project. It required a lot of, you know how the complex it is. If you work in an office building, there are working hours where you can, after the working hours, do the work and perhaps leave. But in Dubai Airport, it's 24 hours all year long, you know, 365 days a year. So it was very difficult to do the work while the operation is still there. Even we have installed 5 megawatt solar panel on Terminal 2. And to energize that solar panel, you need to shut down and then energize and connect, and it was very challenging and difficult. So that project took us about 18 months. We have completed it on time, and we have also arranged the financing for Dubai Airport. So Dubai Airports will benefit approximately 28% saving on an annual basis, which is an excellent saving for the Dubai airports.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I'm talking about the financing as well, because obviously 30,000 buildings is a lot of buildings. And of course, you provide financing should developers or should the project owners choose to take that option. Is that right?
Yes, sometimes clients or facility owners decide to finance on their own and take the benefit of the saving immediately after the construction year, where some clients require financing. And when we come and arrange the financing for them, then their payments starts after the construction year. So we do arrange financing. We have financed a couple of projects over the past years, and we've been successful in completing those projects, and they are in the maintenance period right now.
Let's talk about some of the installations and the scope of the projects in terms of course, because we're around Light Middle East at the moment. Of course, you're going to be involved in a big way at Light Middle East and a THINKLIGHT forum. When it comes to lighting technology, what are you using when you're retrofitting these buildings?
We have suppliers knocking on our door on a daily basis. So we look at the latest technology, the latest innovation, and what is best for our client. Of course, we maintain the same quality. We make sure that the technology we are using have returns and have savings. So that is something that we ask our suppliers to submit. Sometimes suppliers have data sheets where we can ask them for the data sheets that provide. Most of our suppliers provide guarantees on their material in terms of guarantees on the maintenance, guarantees on the saving that it could be achieved by installing such light.
That's an important aspect, isn't it?
Yes, and Dubai Airport, for example, we are working on replacing more than 120,000 lights in the 3 terminals and the concourses.
Okay.
Yeah.
All LED lights, I assume, is that?
Yes, LED.
Wow.
The project is under construction right now, so that's the second part of the Dubai Airport. We have done the retrofitting of
now is the lighting part of it.
the air conditioning and the other MEP, and now is the lighting part.
So it's 130 lighting installations that you will now, that fixtures that you will now replace or retrofit in Dubai International
Yes,
Airport.
we are doing the indoor and the outdoor lights of the Dubai airports.
When you're retrofitting these buildings, what is the sort of challenge that you face with
At the beginning, when Etihad was created, the challenges were to create the market. Creating the market in this region was a bit challenging because we had limited people with limited knowledge and perhaps limited, I would say, capacity. When we started creating the market, then we required projects so people could work on and start learning how the model is working and successfully being completed like a project. So that was a bit challenging, finding the project, making it successful, and creating the, I would say, the circle of people who are working in the energy domain and energy retrofitting domain. They were limited people 4 or 5 years ago. Today, we have more than 20 companies, like 23 companies working in energy retrofitting. We started with 3 only. Can you imagine the growth in 4 years? We have a lot of people working with us in the energy retrofitting domain. So we also provided and introduced training to them. So now the capacity building of the knowledge is also available to them. They can enroll in these training courses. We also provided the solar training, which will be introduced this year.
Solar training? Okay.
Solar training,
That's
yes.
cool.
That's unique in the region. That will be introduced in 2 months. So the capacity building was one challenge which we overtook by introducing retrofitting training and solar training. And creating the market was also another challenge where we overtook by introducing projects and one project after another and a successful project. So this is how we created a successful retrofitting I would say market in Dubai.
So I guess it must be hard to kind of get that buy-in initially, but if you were to argue the benefits, of course, obviously 30% reduction in cost and energy consumption and so on, water saving.
The buy-in was another challenge. Convincing the clients was another challenge. Yes.
But then once they see the benefits, then of course it's like, oh, okay, maybe
I think the ball started rolling from one project and another, and then the whole region started working. Like, is it real? Is it successful? And so on. And then now it has expanded to the region. So the whole region is
following your footsteps.
Is looking and wanting to perhaps have a similar model.
7,000 buildings done, 23,000 to go. Still a lot of work to be done yet.
Yes.
In the next sort of couple of 2-3 years, what are some of the big projects that you're working on, and what would you require from a supply point of view to fulfill these projects?
Well, we still have a couple of government entities that have more than 1,000 facilities, 1,000 buildings within that government entity. It will be a bigger scale project, so we are talking twice as much, 3 times as much. We also require suppliers or perhaps energy services companies that will work for Etihad who are specialized in certain domain.
Okay.
Like when we tackle the hospitality industry, then the quality has to be maintained. You know, their priority is the satisfaction of the customer, the quality of the hospitality. When we approach health sector, then the retrofitting is different, because health sector, they depend on
technical,
very technical health equipments. You know, the equipments have to be running 24/7. So that's another challenge.
And even the lighting itself is very different. You are, of course, speaking at ThinkLight's Integrated Buildings Tech Forum. Give us an overview of your presentation. What do you intend to talk about?
I'll be talking about Etihad and the challenges that Etihad went through over the past few years. I will also talk about some of our projects where we have introduced the latest technology in lighting, and I will briefly give examples of some of the projects where we introduced some of the latest lighting technologies. I will also talk about our future projects, where we are, what sort of projects we are targeting. I will also talk about the expansion we are aiming, going to the region, how Etihad is aiming to expand and go to the region.
Who would you like to meet at ThinkLight and the ThinkLight Forum?
We'd like to meet clients, we would like to meet developers, we would like to meet suppliers, we would like to meet lighting manufacturers, perhaps, lighting agents, lighting suppliers. So.
And of course, manufacturers of the most advanced, latest technology when it comes to IoT, smart building stuff. Yeah.
Yes, we need to see the latest technology, latest innovation, IoT. Yeah, we have seen a lot, but we also focus on the technologies that prove success. Yeah? The technologies that work and provides guarantee to the clients. This is what we do.
Ali, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at Light Middle East.
The same is here. Thank you.